Congrats on the win. Things weren't really going too well for you guys in the first half. It seems like you're kind of disjointed on offense and struggling to cover the perimeter on defense. What kind of adjustments did you make to sort of stem that tide and retake the lead about midway second half?
I would just say having more help on the rolls and off the rolls and the tags and stuff. Just having urgency, getting out to the closeouts and making them put the ball on the ground and drive.
Real heroics there, 7 points in the last 15 seconds or so. Have you had a game like that where you've been able to not only tie the game but give the team the win with a couple of deep shots that late in the game?
Not in college, but in high school I had a couple games like that. But in college, this is my first time doing that. So.
Dai Dai, you had 23 points in the go-ahead 3 in the final seconds. I was wondering, what were you seeing there, and what type of confidence did you have there in the final moments?
I just wanted to win the game. I just wanted to do whatever it took to win the game, and I did that.
And then, Justin, you really worked hard to stretch the floor. You finished with 3 threes. What also were you seeing from the defensive end, and how did you guys adjust in the second half?
I would just say I feel like I didn't have a lot of urgency coming in the first half. We weren't really expecting them to be running those drag screens and stuff. So having urgency, early tags, and getting out to the shooters, they shoot the ball really well. So just getting them off the three-point line, really.
Was the energy in Haas that was building up, some momentum that was fueling you guys? What were you guys talking about there in the final seconds, in the huddles?
Really just getting a stop, getting a steal, then coming on offense and doing what we do what we work on in practice. So.
Dai Dai, what were you thinking when they made those free throws and you had the ball for the last time?
Just get a bucket, do whatever it takes. If that was going to be getting an assist, scoring, just getting a bucket.
What were you thinking when the officials first waved it off?
I was going to be sick, but they counted it, so, everybody was happy.
And what was the reaction after they changed it?
Back happy. Went sad, then back happy, so, yeah.
Any other questions for the guys?
Sick. I don't know what that means.
What type of lessons did you guys take away from the last game coming into this game, and how do you guys think you applied those lessons today?
I would just say starting the game off. I still feel like, we haven't started the game off like we should. So today was another lesson. We showed we could keep fighting in the game. Last game we didn't really show fight. So I feel like we showed that. I feel like now the next step is just starting the game of fight, not letting them punch us in the mouth.
Last question? All right. Thanks, guys.
Appreciate it. Appreciate y'all.
I want to thank all you guys for coming tonight, covering our team, covering Notre Dame. That's a close game. Could have gone either way. 2 good teams battling, fighting. Nothing but respect for Notre Dame, for Coach Shrewsbury. They played a great game. I thought we played a great game. An absolute battle. Dai Dai Ames stepped up and made some huge plays. A lot of our guys stepped up and made huge plays. So did theirs. So did Notre Dame players. They did a great job too. Open to questions.
Yeah, I thought you were going to have a heart attack. Ruled the shot was too late at first.
Yeah, it's. I thought there was a foul going up, and I thought I saw the official signal it, and so they conversed a couple times, and they allowed it, and so I think there's so much emotion in that gym for the officials, for me, for the other team, but I was grateful Dai Dai rose up and made the shot, and then I was grateful that Dai Dai Ames had the maturity and the huge presence of mind and the composure to knock down the free throw.
Is that a video review or did the refs just get together?
What's that?
Did the refs get together or was that a video review on that?
I think they got together to talk it over. And that's from my vantage point. I need to look at the film, but from my vantage point, that's what happened.
Coach, Notre Dame went. Oh, let me check the stats really quick. I'm sorry. Notre Dame went without a field goal in the final 3 minutes, and you guys went on a 7-0 run. I'm wondering what changed defensively and what kind of discipline did you guys emphasize during practice, and how will you carry that into ACC play?
Well, I would say this. After Louisville came in here and stomped all over us, we had some brutal practices. We had some brutal film sessions. Our guys want that. Our guys want that. I want that. Our coaching staff wants that. We were brutally honest all with each other. And our players had some great practices, and they came out here and it translated to the game. It translated to the game. In terms of, we were changing defenses. We changed defensive we changed a lot of defenses, different little nuances, not only in the last 3 minutes, but probably in the last 6 to 8 minutes.
And you guys finished this game with just 3 turnovers against a really disciplined defense. What kind of emphasis did you place on that today to your team?
Look, to be honest with you, we emphasized it a lot over the summer, and we keep talking about it. But look, Justin Pippen, he doesn't turn it over. I mean, 30 minutes, 0 turnovers. TT Carr doesn't turn it over. 0 turnovers. Those are our point guards. But it's been like that all year. These guys have a tight handle. They have great vision. Dai Dai doesn't turn it over. And so that's our best number of the year, but we've had a lot of single-digit turnover numbers. It's good to see that.
It was a closer game on the scoreboard than actually on the court in the first half. What did you say at halftime? You guys came out with a lot of energy.
Well, I thought Notre Dame, they came out in the first 5 minutes and they had their way against us. You know, we weren't quite locked into everything we worked on, and so we just have to, you know, we give encouragement, we get after the guys, I get after myself, and you know, the outcome went our way tonight.
Notre Dame had a drought where they weren't hitting buckets late, but you guys had a 5-minute drought too until like the last 20 seconds before hitting a bucket. What was the message to the guys? They weren't getting a lot of open shots until Dai Dai got those at the end. What was the message to those guys to keep their heads in the game and keep pushing?
Well, we were out of timeouts. At one point, we ran out of timeouts because we had used everything. And so we, you know, some of those plays we've worked on, you know, but like you can work on all the plays you want. You have to have players that go out there and make the shot. A play gives you a little bit of organization. A player like Dai Dai Ames, Chris Bell, those guys go out there and do the hard work. And, you know, sometimes they have to improvise. Sometimes they have to break the play. And we saw a little bit of all of that, I think, tonight from start to finish.
You haven't had a lot of time to reflect on this win yet, but where does this rank in your coaching career so far?
I've been part of 1 or 2 or 3 games like this on both sides. I've been part of the winning side. I've been part of the side where it doesn't go your way. And that's why I just want to be clear to just reiterate tremendous respect for Coach Shrewsbury, for the entire Notre Dame program. You know, it's emotional for all of us. In the handshake line, it was nothing but class act. And you know, look, I think we had a 5-overtime game or a 4-overtime game against Notre Dame last year? What was it, Jim? 4. And so we've had some battles with them and a lot of respect for Notre Dame.
You mentioned the energy that was building up at the end, especially after you guys won. I'm wondering what was different about this game for you specifically, and what type of energy were you feeling after you guys hit that final 3?
Look, I'm feeling intense energy. Our assistant coaches work so incredibly hard. I mean, these guys grind the midnight oil. They're constantly recruiting. They're constantly watching film, burning their eyes out. Our assistant coaches are fantastic. Our players are outstanding. These guys work so hard. The families. You know, it's you know, my wife Hannah, she sacrifices. We're expecting a child in August, and we're excited about it. And we're almost through the first trimester, and she's been sacrificing. She wants to be at every game. Right now, it's not happening, but it will happen soon. You know, and so. But it's not just my family. It's not just Hannah. It's everyone's family, from our GAs to our nutritionists to our strength coach to the media people. Everyone sacrifices on any team. So, yeah, we're fired up. It went our way tonight. Could have gone either way. And, you know, I'm fired up for the people and the human side of this thing.